This is Rick Reynolds, gentleman podcaster about town and lover of retro video gaming podcasts. And I like to listen... Wait, this is the SNES podcast? Greg, I never had an SNES. Yes, I didn't have an SNES, but I'm guessing you did. You're listening to Soul Blazer, talking about the SNES system, something that you totally had growing up. Am I done now? Is that good?
$200, a Super Nintendo setup costs twice as much as the old system. For the money, the company promises better pictures, sound, and adventure.
Now you're playing with power, superpower.
You're the king, I tell you! The king!
Only for Super NES. You're listening to the SNES broadcast with your hosts, Soul Blazer and George.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Super NES podcast. This is a very special episode for you. This is episode number 75. And this is also the first of several guest host episodes that we have coming up for you. I'm trying to get these guys on the podcast for months, and all of a sudden the summer's like everybody's available. So this is going to be the summer of guests. And I'm not exaggerating very much by saying that either, because we got a whole bunch of them planned after this one. But kicking off the festivities in grand style today, we're very pleased to have somebody on the podcast who's not been on the podcast for quite a long time. Very pleased to introduce the one, the only, the amazing, the awesome Willie.
Hey!
How you doing, Willie?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
Why was I not introduced?
Oh, and George too.
Yeah. What's about
Wow. Okay, podcast over. Goodbye.
The podcast. And George.
George, I know I'm teasing
cool.
you. No, I was going to introduce you after that. You just beat me to the punch.
But why wasn't I introduced first?
Because I was trying to mix things up a little bit.
Okay, Willie, you can be the new co-host. And,
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, George. I'll mix the order up next time. I can have you go first, okay?
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
George just had a birthday yesterday, so happy late birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
And Willie, it's good to have you on the podcast again. Like I said, it's been quite a while since you've been here, so so it's always great to have you on here.
Awesome, yeah. I'm looking forward to talking about our game tonight.
And which game did you ask us to play?
Pac-Attack.
Pac-Attack, yes. A puzzle game reskinned of Pac-Man elements that came out. That was developed and published by Namco, the Super NES and multiple systems back in 1993. I never heard this game before until Willie asked for it. I'm like, Pac what? Like, what's going on here? But
Attack. It's Pac-Attack, Greg.
Pac-Attack.
But
that's the fact.
What about you? So, what about you, George? Have you heard about this game before?
I've heard of it before, but I didn't know what it was.
So this is your first time playing it, also, huh?
Yeah.
But so I know you're a huge Pac-Man fan, Willie. Maybe not as much.
Oh, yeah.
It's possible that Wade from University of Tasky might have you beat on the Pac-Mania, but you're definitely way up there.
What are you gonna do when Pac-Mania runs wild over you?
Yeah, what you gonna do, brother? When Pac-Mania runs wild on you?
I need to play Pac-Mania again. That's a strange game. But anyway, so Willie, what's your history of this game? Why'd you pick it?
He probably picked it because he likes it.
Duh.
Oh yeah. I like puzzle games, and of course I like Pac-Man. So it was the combination of these two that really intrigued me when I saw this game for sale at my local Toys R Us back in the 90s. I originally picked it up for my Sega Genesis because that's what I was really into.
Okay.
I didn't pick it up for the SNES until probably sometime in the early 2000s. And now that's become my favorite version because the music sounds so incredible on the Super Nintendo playing this game.
Yeah.
It really hooks me. I love the music in this game.
Yeah, the two versions of the game are very close. Are very close to one another, but there's definitely that difference in music just because of the sound chips that the system's used.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But so this is a game that actually has a pretty interesting history. The game's a puzzle game. Definitely has similarities to Columns, like Columns and Dr. Mario, I think. I'm definitely minded of those two games playing it. And if it seems like that Pac-Man was kind of just grafted onto this, well, there's a reason for that, because this game...
I always like when Pac-Man's grafted onto anything.
Oh yeah, let's grab the Pac-Man on there.
Well, they literally did it in this case. Because this game was originally a arcade game in Japan only. That came out in 1992. That was called Cosmo Gang the Puzzle.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Cosmo Gang the Puzzle.
Oh,
okay.
Both audible.
It was a sequel.
That sounds pretty cool.
It was a sequel to an earlier Cosmo Gang game that came out a couple years previously. And the game was very popular in Japan. The game was very popular in Japanese arcades, but recognizing that the name would have no recognition over here in the States because it sounded weird. They just said, "Hey, let's take out these guys and reskin it as a Pac-Man game and ship it over there." So voila, Pac-Attack.
There you go.
Pac-Attack.
And if you're outside of North America, you know this game is. You probably know this game as Pac-Panic. Because that was the name of the game played in Europe and Japan, like the home versions.
Huh.
So, as William mentioned, the game was also released on Genesis. That same year or the year after, this game also got other numerous ports because it ended up being like a pretty popular puzzle game. It also came out on the Game Boy, and then a couple years later, the Game Boy Color. Slightly enhanced version. The CDI of all systems got a port of the game, which actually looks pretty good, actually. Just graphically enhanced like a little bit, pretty much the same thing. Game Gear got a version of the game also, and in later years, the game was also included. The game was also included in the Namco Anthology 2 for the Xbox, PS2, and GameCube. It was also available in the Pac-Man collection, like the GBA, and it was hidden. It was hidden like as an unlockable game in Pac-Man World 2. And the game is also currently available like on both the. And the game was released on the Wii Virtual Console, and the game is still available like on the Wii U Virtual Console as well. So numerous ways to play this game like even today.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Oh no, get it off of me!
That's why they call it Pac-Attack. It's attacking you.
Pac-Attack, don't fight back.
So there's 3 game modes to this game when you start the game up. You have the player mode, the puzzle mode, and the 2-player mode. Willie, since you have the most familiarity with the game do you want to give us a quick run through? How the game modes go?
Yeah, well, in the single-player mode, it's just like you're playing the arcade game. You have columns that are falling down the screen that either have 3 ghosts or a ghost Pac-Man in a block or 3 blocks. Different variations. As they fall to the bottom of the screen, if there's nothing underneath one of the blocks or whatever, it'll fall past wherever it stops. So the columns kind of stack up in there. And when you get a power-up, a Pac-Man appears, the ghost will turn blue. And the Pac-Man can eat the ghost off the playfield and cause the bricks to drop down even farther to give you some more scoring lines. That's half the fun of the game, is trying to arrange the ghost in such a way that when you have a Pac-Man come up on the screen, that you can clear most of the ghosts off the screen and get all the blocks to fall to the bottom to give you the best score.
Yeah, it takes a while. Definitely. It took me a while to get the hang of trying to figure out, okay, how do I need to position the Pac-Man to be able to get the maximum ghosts? Because sometimes you're like, well, if you make one small mistake, then you can miss like 4 or 5 ghosts, and that really hurts.
Yep. Oh yeah. Of course, the next mode, which is the puzzle mode, which is my favorite mode in the game.
It's hard.
It's very hard.
It's hard.
But
it is. It is.
In that mode, it basically has a prearranged set of blocks and ghosts at the bottom of the screen, and it gives you another Pac-Man for you to try to figure out how you're going to rotate these pieces around to clear the screen off. But that's probably my favorite version on this cartridge is the puzzle mode. Makes you think.
Yeah, it does.
It's kind of like the puzzle mode on. What was the PlayStation Tetris game? What was that called?
Ooh,
PlayStation Tetris.
I think it was like Next Tetris.
No, I don't think it was. With the Tetris game with the explorer and the assistant, and it's like some kind of Egyptian kind of theme in a way. It's like deserts and stuff.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of the name of it.
That game's great.
Man.
And they have a puzzle mode on there.
But then finally you also have 2-player mode. So do you have any experience like the 2-player mode?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot playing the 2-player mode. Usually I'm playing the game by myself.
Yeah. Well, I watched some gameplay footage of that one because that's the one where I wasn't able to play, and it just basically is very Tetris-like, in the sense that both players have the side of the screen, and you're racing against one another trying to finish your puzzle, and you can also dump blocks on the opponent's side, like in Tetris. So.
I don't know how I forgot about this name, but it's Tetris Plus.
Oh, okay, yes, yep.
Tetris Plus, I've not heard of that one.
Yeah.
You haven't?
No, I've not heard of that one.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, it's a very good Tetris game.
It's on the PlayStation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep an eye out for that one now.
It's got some cool music, too.
Right.
Yeah? Oh, awesome. Contributing to the delinquency of the Willy. Thanks, George.
Well, I mean, you helped me out with PlayStation 2 games, so...
Right.
Yeah.
There is one cool feature in 2-player mode also. The ghost that you usually see when playing the other 2 modes, the player mode and the puzzle mode, it's Blinky. But 2-player mode, player 1 has Blinky to eat, and player 2 has Sue to eat. So.
Oh, that's right.
So.
You know, it'd be cool if 2-player mode changed it to that. You have Pac-Mans and the ghosts go after the Pac-Man.
Yeah.
For the second player.
Yeah, I think if the game had originally been designed from the ground up as being a pack puzzle game, they probably would have done that. But like I said, this just simply
that would have been cool.
Yeah, but just being a conversion of an arcade game, is just like the Pac-Man license onto it. I guess they really didn't want to bother with it too much because they. I
guess that makes sense.
I looked at the Japanese arcade game, and it's very, very similar to this. Just instead of Pac-Man and Ghost, they just have the other. They just have the Cosmo game character his enemies in there instead. So it's very pretty much the same game. But did you know, Willie, that the puzzle mode has 100 puzzles?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Of course, I can't get that far anyway.
Yeah. Well,
I get to about level 10 or so.
Well, the game does.
There you go.
Well, one thing the game does in puzzle mode, which I really like, is not only not only is the password very easy to write because to write down because only 4 letters, but it gives you the password on the screen as you're playing that stage. So just put that in password in right away. You lose, you just lose or come back later, come back to it later, and just start writing again that level. So, but of course, of course, you played an emulation play by save states, so you don't even bother with that. But but yeah, the game does have an ending in puzzle mode. If you get through you manage to get through 100 levels, there's a congratulations message, and the game ends.
Oh.
And there's somebody on YouTube who was able to go through the whole game, all 100 levels in just under an hour and a half.
Holy moly!
Yeah.
That's probably a lot of practicing.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm the first to admit I have no gaming skills, but I love playing the games anyway.
Yeah, puzzle mode's very difficult. I think I was only able to get to level 15 or so, but it's definitely a challenge because you really have to the layout of the pieces are always the same, so you really have to move quickly in some of the stages to figure out how to attack it. If you don't do it right at the start, then you're screwed pretty much. So definitely challenging. Player mode is very similar to Tetris, in how it progresses. It's once you finish a certain amount of lines or get a certain point total, the level increases. It increases and everything speeds up. So.
Oh geez. Yeah.
I was able to. My best for that one was getting to level 12.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I get to about level 8.
You mentioned the music earlier, Willie. The soundtrack in this game is. The soundtrack of this game is very good. It was better than I thought it was going to be. It has a very unique kind of a how'd you call it? Kind of a bongo rock kind of feel to it almost. There's different music that plays during the puzzle mode versus the player mode. The puzzle mode features some very cool kind of hard beating rock mode. The kind of very I think it's very appropriate. Appropriate for puzzle mode because it really kind of makes you're pushing the mindset of solving puzzles. Whereas the player mode music is just a remix of the Pac-Attack theme, which I love.
Oh, I love that too. That's what really makes this game for me on the Super Nintendo is the music. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So beyond that, there's also a musical piece that plays when you plays like you get in danger, like losing, like it's like a very frantic, fast, super fast, or a musical piece that really crazy the stress level even higher than it already is. Two-player mode also has its own music that's pretty good, and there's the soundtrack is definitely a surprise. I wasn't expecting much of it, but I guess I took a page from Tetris and look how much the music enhances the gameplay music, the gameplay experience from Tetris. So let's put some good music in this one too. So, definitely very fun. So, the music's the same for all the versions of the game, though. Willie, what about the Super NES version of the music really just appeals to you so much? Why is it? It's just the way Super NES plays the music. Because, like I said, the music is the same for all the versions. So I was curious to hear
the sound of it.
The sound of it.
The sound of the music, yeah.
But
it has a depth to it on the Super Nintendo that it doesn't have on the Genesis.
Okay.
It's soundy.
Yeah. It's appealing to my ears. It's like a party for my ears.
That's an interesting party.
It's a very interesting party.
So George, you mentioned the music a moment ago. You really like the soundtrack too, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Which of the two gameplay modes was your favorite? Did you prefer playing in player or puzzle?
Definitely the first one.
Oh, player mode?
Yeah.
Me too. Because I have to admit that even though I like puzzle mode, player mode's definitely easier.
I couldn't do the puzzle mode worth crap.
Puzzle mode's tough because you really have to
It is.
You really have to think ahead. To figure because this game only shows you like one piece ahead, and there are times where you're like, my kingdom for a Pac-Man. Where the hell is the Pac-Man?
yeah. It's just the big thing is just how quick it goes. It's like I can't react quick enough.
Yeah.
So it just ends up on blocking in all the ghosts while I'm trying to place everything. And okay, game over. All right,
game over, man.
Game over, man.
Yeah, so definitely, like fun. I really appreciate the fact the game has all three of those modes though, because they could have shipped like one or two, like the one or two. It would have been fine, but like all three of those game modes really helps to appeal to all players, and really helps to enhance the gameplay experience.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
yeah. Rocket approved. Oh yeah.
So how about the graphics, Woody? What do you think about the graphics?
Well, there's nothing spectacular. They're okay.
16-bit.
Yeah, they're 16-bit.
Definitely.
Yeah, they're blocks and Pac-Man,
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I really do like the kind of cartoonish look that the game has as far as the gameplay graphics go, and the background graffitis are great. I love those.
Oh yeah, I do like the graffiti art.
That's a nice
that's
touch.
Pretty good. Very nice.
I like when you clear a line of blocks, and when you have ghosts above that, and they fall down, they have an animation where they actually like fall over.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Later on in the game, those ghosts get very animated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, their bodies like move around, like they like look left, look right, they look around in panic. Their eyes shift up. They literally. Once the game gets going, those blue ghosts, like definitely, those blue ghosts, definitely start like kind of hopping around.
Yeah, I like how they fall over. That cracks me up.
It's pretty good.
I love how the sound effects are taken like directly from Pac-Man. It's great.
Yes.
Waka 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 waka.
Waka waka waka.
Oh, well, welcome to the show, Pac-Man.
So yeah, the game controls. The game controls pretty basic. The game is very pick up and play. I mean, you really don't need to like look at the instructions to figure out how to play it.
Instructions? We don't need no instructions.
Instructions? What are those?
Just pick up the controller and play the game.
There you go.
Overall, as a puzzle game, I was impressed. I mean, I suck at puzzle games as a rule, even though I love Tetris. And I think the difficulty of this game is kind of on the middle as far as Tetris, puzzle games go. I think it's definitely easier than Tetris. I think in some ways, but also harder than some other games. I know that George, you're a big fan of Bust a Move. I think this game's harder than Bust a Move is.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is harder than Bust a Move. Also, you don't get the awesome ready go.
Yeah, Pac-Man's one of those characters that, like Mario, does not need to speak. I don't need to hear that.
No.
Oh, I definitely want to hear Pac-Man say "Ready, go." What does Pac-Man? What would Pac-Man sound like if he spoke?
Oh God, probably probably like that old cartoon in the early '80s.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember that cartoon.
Yeah, I remember watching as a kid. Here's a hint.
I like Mesmeron.
Here's a hint. Don't try to watch it now, but it hasn't aged very well.
Don't try to watch anything you watched as a kid.
No, there's some cartoons from the early '80s I think that have held up very well. I still enjoy it.
I don't know. A lot of the time, people will go back and just I watched this. I'm not even talking about the '80s era. I'm talking about just whatever you watched as a kid.
I still enjoy watching classic G1 Transformers and G.I. Joe and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, those something
I've been watching the real Ghostbusters on Netflix.
Oh, that's on Netflix, huh?
Yeah, I've been watching that shit also.
Every time I hear Peter Venkman's voice, I think of Ferg.
Yeah, it's true. So anybody out there who's a big fan of this game, and Wooly, this includes you also. Look into like, you may want to look into importing the Japanese version of Namco Anthology 2, because that version of the game, it's like a remade version of the game, like over the original Pac-Attack. It includes new graphics, new music, new modes. It also has a bar. It also has a bar indicating like when Pac-Man's coming, like so you can plan ahead better. And it has certain times like which ghosts can and can't be eaten. So like it also has like a God Hand mode. Just like a player attempts to reach like level 999, like where the blocks like come down in 10 speeds at you at that point. Yeah. So yeah. Like we forgot to mention player mode. You pick like 4 difficulty levels. So that's a very nice touch. You have easy, normal, hard, and hyper, which is definitely hyper.
Hyper. We need a lethargic mode.
Does Pac-Attack have a kill screen?
Well, like I said, puzzle mode has an end, but player mode doesn't. So technically, no.
Have you played that? What is it? Pac-Man 256 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. It's pretty fun. Like, it's on Steam now.
It's pretty cool.
I love that game. That's a pretty good game.
Yeah, escaping from a kill screen.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
a great idea.
Yeah, when that game originally came out, that was only for the mobile phones, but they ported it over to Steam later on. But speaking of the mobile, speaking about the mobile phone, I was going to mention the iOS version of this game. Flip the game like real quick, because it came out in 2010, and it's kind of a demake of the game. Because the iOS version of the game, the graphics are all taken straight from the original Pac-Man game.
Yep.
And it also, and the puzzle mode, the puzzle mode version of the game also has specific challenges, which makes sense because like people are usually playing games on the phone in like short time periods. So changing it around should just give you something to do in the puzzle mode where you can like finish in like 2-3 minutes. Like it's a good idea, I think.
Yeah.
So the iOS version of the game definitely looks very good too. So.
Is that only on iOS?
As far as I did not, so according to my research, it did research the only phone version of it is on the iOS. It doesn't look like it does not like an Android version came out.
I will let that pass, but there are other games that there is no excuse that it only came out on iOS 4.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising how that works sometimes, but
it is odd.
So, this game got pretty good reviews when it came out. Most of the magazines at the time gave like scores like 6 and 7 to like out of 10. So, pretty good. Even though the Pac-Man thing's kind of tacked onto the game as an afterthought almost, I think it works pretty well. I mean, because the Pac-Man element do kind of add the Pac-Man element do kind of add some cuteness to it. It kind of gives the game a separation like some other separation like some other puzzle games of the time period, I think.
I agree with that.
Yes.
So, Willie, like, is this a game that you play on a regular basis now still, or just a game that you just pick up and play like every few months or so?
I play it every once in a great while. It's not one I play often, but when I get in the mood for some Pac-Man and some puzzle gaming, I usually pick it up and play it.
Well, you play this
Would
game...
you say you have Pac-Man fever?
I've got Pac-Man fever,
yeah. Yeah, definitely. I may not enjoy Pac-Man quite as much as Willie does, but I still definitely enjoy like playing every Pac-Man game that comes out these days. And this game's definitely fun. It's like, how did I ever miss this game like ever coming out? But probably it's a puzzle game. It's like a puzzle game. So that's probably how I missed it.
Well, it's half the fun. You when you do a podcast on a console, half the fun is discovering games you weren't aware of.
Oh yeah, I know, especially if the library is big.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been many times I have found games on consoles I had no idea they were even out there. And I just absolutely love, Time Slip or something like that. It's a pinball game on the PlayStation 2 that I just love.
Are you talking about Flipnick?
Flipnick, there it is. That's it.
That's the game that you suggested to me, and I got a copy of it.
I love that game.
It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Willie, as somebody who's been playing the game the longest out of the three of us, do you have any tips or advice for any like newbies who are picking up this game?
Don't lose.
Play the game worth their darn, man. I can't play the game worth a darn, so anything.
Willie's advice is be better than me.
Be better than me.
Well, he usually gives good advice like about games like in his other podcasts, so it's like, I just wanted to ask.
That's a good question.
Well, I was being serious, Willie, but if you really don't have anything, that's fine.
No. Now, have you guys submitted any articles for the Super Nintendo book?
I'm going to pretty soon because
Awesome.
Because I asked him. Because I had like Brett on the podcast a while back. I'm not sure if you heard that episode, but yeah, I saw his post on Facebook this week, and I'm like, does doing a podcast qualify me? It's like, yeah, it sure does. So I'm like, okay.
I totally missed that post.
Yeah. Well, you probably qualify also, George, because you're on the podcast here, like me.
Yeah.
He sent me an updated list through private chat and Facebook. Remind me later on, I'll send it over to you.
Sure.
I'm definitely going to submit something like for Aerobiz and Aerobiz Supersonic because nobody else can write about those games.
Yeah, I did Mr. Do, and I did Knights of the Round.
Oh, Willie, this is a clean podcast.
But, definitely. So, I don't know. I think the best advice I can give this game starting to give this game is I actually think starting out puzzle mode first may be a good idea because that will kind of challenge your brain some, kind of put you in the right mindset. Because if you can do a little... because if you can finish the first few levels puzzle mode, player mode definitely starts off easier than that. So I think you'll definitely be more tuned and better able to handle the game and do well into player mode like you do puzzle mode first. And like what we said before, just don't panic. Pay attention when the Pac-Man shows up and try to arrange a Pac-Man just the right way to be able to chop a maximum number of ghosts.
Put them all on the line.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong of temporarily sealing up ghosts also to clear lines if you have to because like Tetris, you don't want to get that thing to get too high or otherwise you're screwed. Once it gets up past the halfway point in the screen, good luck, you'll need it.
Yep.
So there is one code in this game. You are able to do a level select, just like a puzzle mode if you want to. I just start the two-player mode and lose it. When the game over screen appears, hit the O button on the controller, change levels, and then allow you to play the level you want to.
Oh, awesome.
Yep, so that's the
only... He's going to go to level 100, and he's going to
there we go.
learn that he made a huge mistake.
Yeah, take a look at level 100 on YouTube. It's not pretty. Yeah, for sure. So, Willie, any final thoughts or do you have final thoughts or comments as far as the game goes and how you think it holds up today?
For a puzzle game, it holds up really well even for today. Of course, that's just me.
Right.
It is a game that I really enjoy. I recommend to anybody who likes Sega columns because it plays like Sega columns quite a bit.
Right. Yep, it does.
It's a great game.
I do like columns.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said before at the beginning of the podcast, it also reminds me a lot about Dr. Mario too, because the fact that you have somebody the cuteness factor, the characters, also the fact that things have also the fact that the blocks being kind of tossed onto the screen, per se. So, it's definitely a fun combination like those two games, I think. George, how about on your end? I know that you enjoy puzzle games also because you're a big fan of Bust a Move, and whatnot.
Puzzle games are hit and miss with me. It depends on what it is, but yeah, this game is cool, but it's just I feel like it's not for me. I don't know why. it's cool. I like the aesthetic, and it plays well, and it's just a really cool game, overall.
Right.
But I just don't know what it is about it that just doesn't catch me, like a Tetris or Bust a Move or whatever.
Do you think the Pac-Man elements of the game add or subtract to the value of the game? Maybe your
I'd
objection.
say add, because it's kind of cool. Like, you have to kind of line up these ghosts so Pac-Man can drop down and eat them.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and if you manage to get 10 ghosts at once, that's a huge point bonus.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I'm kind of in the middle, like the two of you. I do like puzzle games, I suck at them, but this game is definitely fun. It's definitely challenging. I don't think it's quite as good as Tetris, or Dr. Mario, but this game certainly has some lasting appeal, and it's probably something I'll come back to again later on. I'm definitely curious. So I'm definitely going to look to see if the iOS version is still available, because I'm definitely interested in playing that version too on the go. So hopefully it's still out there. I didn't look to see if look to see if that version is still available in the App Store, but hopefully it is.
Who knows?
Who knows? It's probably still there.
Yeah. So being a puzzle game, this game is pretty cheap on eBay. As far as Super NES pricing goes, it's not very expensive at all. Certainly one of the cheapest games cheapest games to pick up covered on the podcast. Even complete. 65 copies currently available for sale. 36 copies recently sold. Cart. These prices include shipping. Only anywhere from $5.50 to $17. So not very expensive at all.
Wow, it is cheap.
CIB is very cheap also. 13 to $20.
Wow.
So not a very expensive game to pick up at all.
No.
Which is
nice.
Yeah. Well, like I said,
how much some of the other games are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for anybody, jumping Super NES collecting these days. Especially because three of my favorite, three of my all-time favorite games in the system are also three of the most priced games right now.
No.
And if you play these all through, and all three games were ones I had as a kid, and so. Looks like it's about starting a collection. I started off getting these three games, but Chrono Trigger, Turtles in Time, and Sunset Riders. They all go for huge amounts of money.
Sunset Riders. I've got that one. I love that game.
Yeah, that's the one.
See, this is why you have to be more into the PlayStation and PlayStation 2, because they're cheaper. They're cheaper.
Most games are cheaper. Not all of them.
Excuses.
Yes. Yeah, Sunset Riders we're not covered yet this podcast. We'll have to have you back in about 6 months, Louie. You're talking about that game.
Yeah, I like
that. Would be
Billy
really cool.
Yeah,
I would like to play
identify with
that.
Billy on Sunset Riders.
Yeah. Super NES version of that game's pretty good, I think. Not perfect. They did make a lot of arcade changes to it, but it's pretty good still. So.
Oh yeah.
But So anyway, final thoughts. I'm certainly glad I played Pac-Attack. I certainly thank Willie for bringing this game up to my attention. I definitely had a lot of fun playing this week. It's definitely a very cute, amusing puzzle game. Good graphics, great music. The two-player mode certainly looks like a blast. Definitely a very fun puzzle game. Anybody out there who enjoys puzzle games, and especially if you're a fan of Pac-Man, definitely by all means, check this game out. Just be prepared for some very hair-pulling puzzles if you decide to play puzzle mode.
I suggest that you stop playing if you're starting to pull out your hair. That's not very healthy.
I don't have much hair to pull anyway.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm thinning out, man.
Yep, no problems then, right?
I'm becoming a power pellet. My head is a power pellet.
What happens if Pac-Man swallows your head then?
Oh, he has a bad case of diarrhea.
Final thought. I don't care for either the box cover of this game, or the title screen picture. Both of those are very weird pictures. The the artwork is very strange. It's like, what are they trying to show here? Like, what's going on?
I'm not familiar with the box art because all I got was the cartridge when I picked it up.
Yeah. Title screen picture is very the title screen picture is a very abstract view of the gameplay mode too. It's like I don't know what's going on there. It's weird, but so anyway, at least the game itself looks better, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But okay, that's pretty much everything. It's pretty much everything I have to say about this game. Kind of a shorter episode. Short episode this week because I don't really know how much you can say about a puzzle game.
There's not a whole lot to this game.
Yeah. Do you guys have any final thoughts on the game before you close up here?
No.
It's a game.
It's a game. It's a puzzle with Pac-Man. There we go.
It's a good puzzle. Yep, it's a good puzzle game. I mean, just Pac-Man's pretty much done everything over the years, so I shouldn't be. I guess I shouldn't have been shocked they showed up a puzzle game too. So.
Oh yeah.
No.
But So anyway, thank you again very much for joining us on this podcast. I really very much appreciate it, and thank you also to our great listeners out there. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, etc., you can always contact us on our Facebook page, or you can also email me directly, the podcast email at the SNESpodcast@yahoo.com. We're a proud member of both Retro Junkies and Throwback Networks, where you can find many other great retro-themed podcasts, both gaming and non-gaming related. And we're also on iTunes. Please check us out there and give us some ratings and feedback. Willie, I can't keep track of all the podcasts that you do for us, man. What are you up to these days? 6?
I don't know. Let's see. We got ColecoVisions, and we have the 5200 Super Community, Toy Tomb, just finished up the Channel F files, starting Microvision, Atari Visions.
Well, speaking about Channel F, aren't you guys going to do one last episode on Pac-Man?
Yeah, we're going to do the Pac-Man homebrew cartridge release, and we'll probably do one final one on all the homebrew games for the Channel F.
Channel F has other homebrew games?
Yeah, it has a few. It has Tetris and some other ones.
Ha! Didn't know that. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
How does it feel, you went through this whole thing and you're basically at the end now. How does it feel to have to end a podcast because you're running out of content there?
Well, it's not actually going to end. If something new pops up for the Channel F, we'll do another episode. But
okay.
And we'll still do stuff on the Facebook page concerning the Channel F as we find information or more stuff is dug up. We're still trying to get a hold of the guy that has the test rig for the Channel F controllers. He has a bunch of other stuff as well.
Oh, cool.
For the Channel F.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get a hold of him.
Because it's like, you play all the games and then you run out of stuff to talk about. It's just like, what do you do?
Well, that's why I started up the Microvision Pixelcast. Start moving
there you
that.
go. Well, so you should just do a podcast based on a console that doesn't have a library you can run out of games on.
Yeah, I purposely try to choose these off-the-wall consoles that have small libraries, so I don't feel like I'm committed to do everything. In the future, I want to do a VFD podcast to talk about all the different VFD games, which will take a long time to do. There's a lot of them.
Well, we're going to try to cover every PlayStation 2 game on PlayStation Power. So. I know, right?
Yeah, George
the original PlayStation.
Yeah. I think I got I probably got 200 PlayStation 1 games. And
I have bins of PS2 games.
And I think I got about 50 PS2 games. I'm very selective on those, what I pick up. Got a lot of PS1 games, though.
Yeah. Well, like George was saying earlier, now's the time to collect PS1 and PS2 games, and with the price skyrockets.
Yes, it is.
Don't tell them that, because the prices are going to go up now.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, it's going to go up.
Yeah. So Willie does an amazing great podcast. If you're not already listening to his stuff, by all means check it out, because he does some very good work out there, the community. A lot of us owe him thanks and inspiration, for helping to get us going.
What was that? Oh no, Willie has been eaten and an alien has taken his place.
George, what about you? Like, what other podcasts do you do?
Oh boy, I do this cool podcast called PlayStation Power.
Yeah.
That's a cool one. We talk about PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah.
I have a treat for you next time, Greg, so...
Oh boy.
Buckle up! I also do Master System Masterpieces.
Ooh.
We did Streets of Rage, and... Oh, jeez, we finally got that episode out. Oh, man.
I love my Master System.
It's great.
I love playing the Hidden Stalemaze game in the console. I'm just weird that way.
Yeah, it's only in the Model 1 version as well, which it's interesting because the Model 2 version has the Alex Kidd game.
Yeah, and of course, I love Zaxxon 3D with the 3D glasses.
I think I have that game, but...
I love that game.
I don't have the Master System hooked up, so... but I do
great.
have the 3D glasses adapter and some, like, third-party 3D glasses, so I don't even know if they work.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, those glasses are hard to get.
Yeah, my system I picked up with about 10 games for $40 at the yard sale.
Yeah, so it's so funny because I'll go on the Facebook group for that podcast, and it's like, all the people who are listening have more Master System accessories than I do. Like, oh, hey, look at my gun. Hey, look at my glasses. It's like, dang you guys. Dang it.
You got the converter for the Genesis? I got one of those.
Oh, I have one of those, yeah.
In the box. Yeah, in the box.
Oh, wow.
And my glasses are in the box too, man. Yeah.
Oh,
that was actually given to me by a good friend.
Wow. All right, yeah. I also do the box for it. Don't listen to it. That's where bad people go.
That's where bad people go.
Yeah, that's about it for me.
Yep, so I think between the three of us, we definitely do a podcast out there that should appeal to like everybody. So you just like go out there like look.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, once again, Willie, we very much appreciate you taking time out of your busy life to come on the podcast for us. You're always great to have on here, so we'll try to get you back on again without it being so long this time.
Cool.
Thank you again for choosing a very interesting game for us to look at, and for always, gracing us with your insight and everything. So, and I know that you want to get to bed, so we'll cut you.
Oh yeah.
So we'll cut you loose here.
Thanks, man.
Next up on the podcast, continuing our summer of guests. We're going to be very pleased to have also a returning guest host of the podcast, the wonderful Nick Baldrich, to talk about this time a pinball game, Pinball Dreams.
Ooh. I dream of balls and the pinball. I've not yet played this game yet. Looking forward to doing so because I really enjoy pinball. So I'm curious. I have played this game in other formats. I'm just curious to see how the Super NES version looks. So stay tuned for next time, and there's more guest hosts planned after that. So like I said, we've got a whole bunch of them coming on. So stay tuned.
Nintendo controls 80% of the video market. But no matter how you play the game, or which game you play, things definitely have come a long way since Pac-Man.
Now you're playing with power. Super power.